The Elite 3 becomes the Elite 4. It's Secret Rare Pokemon podcast with Jordan Midler, Tom Ryan-Smith, Nathan Ellingsworth, and Nerdy Niamh. And before we've even started, Tom showed us up in front of our esteemed guest. He's been setting that up for months. We've not let him out the house, so he's got to act up. Before we get into that, Niamh, thank you for joining us. I have to say sorry for Tom.
That's all right. Thank you for having me. What an introduction that was.
I know, silly little boy. Tom, you don't get to speak next. Nathan, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Nice and busy, but excited to be back in podding.
Good. Tom.
Yes.
Did that make you feel clever in front of the rest of the class?
It really did.
Yeah, you know what? I respect it. I don't actually like casting myself in this role as some kind of authoritarian because I really like.
It really goes against your persona.
Yeah, I really like being the person that certain people at the Pokemon company think, maybe we shan't send him the fancy Christmas packages. Anyway, this week we have a ton of stuff to talk about. Primarily, of course, our first ever guest. So, Niamh, tell us a little bit about yourself in the Pokemon world. What do people know you for? What do you do?
So I do a lot of shopping videos. I always am looking around for bargains. I also shop a lot in the kids section, always trying to find different.
I have seen this on your TikTok. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It must be nice because the kids section, really, the Pokemon kids section clothing options far beyond that what we get.
Yeah, I mean this is a kids top from Primark, £3.50. It's an absolute bargain. I thought, yeah.
Wow.
Gotta grab that. I didn't even care if it fitted. I thought if it doesn't fit, I'll just turn it into a tote bag or something. But you know, so yeah, when I have the time amongst all the other things, I get around to doing. But yeah, so I mainly do shopping, clothes. I'm trying to do a little bit more fashion. I also obviously open lots of packs and stuff. I'm trying to branch out a little bit from Pokemon as well. I mean, you can see my Snoopy on my bed. I love Snoopy. Absolutely love Snoopy. But obviously Pokemon is where it's all kind of kicked off, and also Animal Crossing.
Oh, yeah.
There's a big crossover between the Animal Crossing lot and the Pokemon lot. You see a lot. I'm personally anti Animal Crossing, but we'll get into that later on.
Is that a topic for today?
The topic for today is the problems with the Animal Crossing franchise. So how'd you get into Pokemon? Was this a fan as a child, then got back into it when you started being like a content creator, or?
So basically, it's almost like I've done like a complete 360. I loved watching the anime when I was younger. It was one of those things I always watched before I went to school, before brownies. Always watching the Pokemon. I was Diamond and Pearl. That was predominantly like the ones that I watched, and then I remember I got a DS. It was like the first DS that they did. One, you know, the
like clamshell one.
Yeah. And
the original one.
Yeah, I got given one of those secondhand from someone my mum used to work with, and he gave me an N5 card, and that's what I started off with, just an N5.
The Secret Rare podcast does not endorse piracy of the Pokemon company's intellectual property.
No, legally,
it wasn't
never heard of that.
I was
there are no iPhones.
But yeah, so I started off and I had Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, and I had each starter
all on separate cartridges.
Yeah. Each one. Sorry, I had each one, each starter on each one, and that was it. I was hooked. Yeah. And then I've always had the games, but obviously growing up, I gave away all my cards, all my little minifigures that I had. Biggest regret ever. And then about last year, we went to Manchester actually, and we went into what's that shop called?
That the one you took me to, Tom?
The one in Affleck's.
There's one in
Card
Covent
Empire.
Garden. I can't remember what it's called.
In where?
There's one in Covent Garden. It's like a big nerd shop. I can't remember.
Traveling Man. No, not Traveling Man. You mean?
Oh, it's literally on the top of I can't even think of
Forbidden
it.
Planet.
Forbidden Planet. That's it. Yeah, we went into Forbidden Planet, and I saw all the Pokemon stuff in there, and I was like, I really want to open a pack of Pokemon cards, and then that was it. then I was
Nice.
just spending all my money buying Pokemon cards. It got really addictive, but I've kind of managed to manage it a bit more now. But yeah, and here we are a year later and making silly little videos online.
Hell yeah. So because you started in Gen 4, do you have like a huge like affinity for those Pokemon? Like us
Oh,
old bastards get called Gen 1ers because of our age, but like are you the one who's only Gen 4er?
yeah, I'm a big stan for it. I love it, and I remember when the remake came out for Switch, I was so excited. And I know loads of people were a bit disappointed by it, but I think it's a great game. I stand by it. I think it's good. I like it. So
That's
personal.
it's a weird situation because I get the same when I defend Let's Go Pikachu. I think that's a wonderful Wii game, but
Great game.
a lot of people do not like it. Like a certain member of this podcast.
I'd say nothing.
Yeah.
Don't like is strong. Have qualms with.
Yeah, I'll take your qualms and tell you where to put them, mate. So what in the you say that you got back into like the cards and the clothes and stuff like that. What part of the hobby then now is the thing that's like really getting you? Because I find myself very card obsessed at the minute.
Yeah, it's a mixture of cards and clothes. Definitely, I quite like buying lots of like the figurines as well, like the little ones. I've got a load. You can't see them because they're so far away, but I've got like loads of little like Gashapon figurines. But definitely the clothes. I think just going into Primark and then seeing things that I know that I can fit into, it's quite dangerous actually. I've bought so many tops in the last couple of months. It's probably my wardrobe just is not big enough for it.
So with that in mind, we asked you to prepare a team. Is this going to be very Gen 4 focused? Give us your first pick for Niamh's team.
Well, this is the thing. I always feel like when people say, "Oh, like, what's your team?" I think it always is very dependent on what I'm playing because I really like the Soul Silver remake as well. I played that a lot. So I do quite like a lot of Pokemon from that generation as well. But it's like I've got my Gen 4 that I would use for like when I'm playing the game, but then I've also just got little Pokemon that I just like here and there that probably represent me more.
Yeah.
Not necessarily like strategic or like cuteness. But I also think if I was in the Pokemon world, I'd probably just make friends with like whatever Pokemon comes up to me. Like I probably wouldn't really care. It's like an animal, isn't it?
Yeah. You wouldn't be an elitist.
Yeah. I don't think I would be. I definitely wouldn't. I'd just be living my life for my Pokemon. But I think Bulbasaur's definitely in there.
Okay.
Riolu as well.
I was about to say, as a Gen 4er, there's no way that Riolu wasn't going to be in there.
Yeah, like Riolu and Lucario are basically on par with legendary Pokemon at this point, in my opinion. Ampharos.
Hell yeah, Ampharos. Now we're fucking. Sorry, I'll bleep that. Now we're fucking talking. There we go. I'm a big fan.
Carnivine. Simply because of the anime.
Great one.
That's a strange one. Well, I suppose the anime, but that's like you could have given me about 1,000 guesses and I wouldn't have got Carnivine.
Yeah, I love him. I love him in the when he comes out and just bites James on the head all the time. I love it. And then I've got two more.
Two left.
Striker. I'm a zebra fan. I like my zebras.
Striker?
And Frokoko. I really like.
Yes.
That's a very solid team. Who would be your ace? Who's the Pokemon that would appear with you in like EX Masters and stuff like that?
Oh, probably Ampharos.
Yeah, good choice.
Yeah.
Good choice.
Yeah.
So, Niamh's team, the first team registered on Secret Rare. We're gonna start doing this with the people we trick to be on this broadcast. Bulbasaur, Riolu, Carnivine, Zebstrika, Fuecoco, and Ampharos as the ace. Tom, thoughts on that team?
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh, come on. That's so mean.
I put a lot of thought into that, Tom.
You did. I'm sorry. Like they're not my Pokemon. Like I like them all. They're all lovely.
Yeah.
Fuecoco's the boy. Like can't go wrong with Fuecoco.
Mm-hmm.
I've just never been like Ampharos and things like that. They're just not my kind of vibe.
How can
cool hair, like.
How can anyone related to this not be your kind of vibe? What's wrong with you?
It's a sheep, isn't it?
I'm not gonna lie. Though,
Maybe.
the only thing that does confuse me because it goes like Mareep and Fluffy are like still sheep looking, but when it gets to
Yeah.
Antcross, I don't really know what happens. But I still think it's really cool.
Yeah. Also, it's like, well, I suppose Mareep's flesh is blue, so it goes like blue, pink, yellow. But it's,
Yeah.
that's strange. But what a Pokemon, Nathan? You going to be kinder about Neve's team, or are you going to be horrible like Tom?
Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's good picks. Yeah, I love it. I love
Carnivine
Gen 4.
is a very Nathan
Carnivine-
pick. As a man that is
Yeah,
the Trubbish FC supporter, like, yeah,
yeah, no, I love Carnivine. It's great. He hasn't been in. He was Carnivine's in Legends Arceus, but it's not in Sword or Shield or Scarlet and Violet. Bring back Carnivine. Give me that
Yeah.
baby. I want him. I want him in. I want him in Legends ZA.
Legends.
That'd be
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
I feel like I've never had an excuse to like him. Like he was during the era where I dropped out for a while. Like even the anime where he was James's Pokemon. I've only kind of found that out in retrospect. So like you came in the era where I was like, I'm not a Pokemon fan anymore. I'm an adult. And then I came back and that era is still like mysterious to me. I feel so bad about it.
Gen 4 is like, that's peak. That's so peak.
Yeah.
Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Platinum.
See, I think I
I've
dropped
started
halfway
Platinum.
through Gen 6. I think that's when I dropped off.
Yeah.
So for me it was Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3 obsessive, and then Gen 4 I was going into high school and like liking Pokemon wasn't the thing, so it was like, okay, let's just drop everything that is so important to me. I did play Diamond, and then by the time that like Black and White were coming out, I'd made pals that were into games, and so like playing those games was really a big deal. Yeah, so I didn't miss too much. My main Gen 4 memory is I had a copy of Platinum and I went to trade it in at the Blockbuster in Paisley. God rest it. Blockbuster, not Paisley. It's still hanging on. And I gave it to the guy and I said specifically, how much would I get to trade this in? And he goes, however much it was. And I go for a look. There's nothing there I want. And I say, okay, it's okay. I won't bother. And he goes, no, you've just traded it in. And I was like, no. I asked you how much I would get. I did not trade this in. And he goes, I can't do anything now. So I'm not ashamed to say. Got in the car, told my dad. He walked straight in, and about 2 seconds later, he emerged with my copy of Platinum. And I was like, that's the man. There we go.
There we go.
Wow.
Now do it.
Very large, scary Scottish man took care of that with very little issue. But yeah, Gen 4, I have more of an affinity for Gen 4 because of Legends Arceus. And also Gaiden BDSP made me like think about those games again in a way I haven't in a while. But it kind of Gen 4 and Gen 3 had a problem with us too, took the piss with legendaries in terms of like items for event legendaries and stuff like that. Like it got so extreme by the time you're getting to Gen 4. It's like Joe Merrick is the only reason I know half of those Pokemon existed about 10 years ago. So that team is exactly what I envisioned. I didn't, because when I say my team and I come out here and we will do an episode where the three of us give our teams, but spoilers, because of all the Charizards here, I will have Charizard. When you say your favorite Pokemon's Charizard, people just go, oh, okay, cool. That's fine.
I bet you support Man U as well.
Yeah.
Wait, Niamh, didn't you say Charizard was overrated?
Bro, Charizard is my favorite Pokemon. I have an emotional attachment to Charizard. Absolutely correct. Very overrated. Like the treatment Charizard gets in regards to the other two Kanto starters, which are just as iconic, is like absolutely ridiculous. But...
Yeah, well, Bulbasaur's number one. Like, what's that about? I just doesn't. I mean, I have respect for Charizard. I mean, using Charizard in Unite, like,
yeah,
good in Unite. But I don't know what the hype's about.
It's that card is the this was not the like Charizard did used to get preferential treatment, but it was like not extreme. When the whole explosion happened in 2020 and the card became the most popular thing in the world, that's when it became a real problem. So
the fact there's like a new Charizard rare card every 4 sets now is just ridiculous. Like there are far too many.
I was going to say,
we're getting one later this year as well.
Do you think the animation had something to do with it? Because obviously, he's Ash's Pokemon, but Bulbasaur and Squirtle, like they don't evolve.
Yeah.
I definitely think that's because like the hype up, the build and the anime of like Charizard finally obeying Ash and stuff like that was such a big deal. the fact that this was kind of in sync with all the explosion, but like the champion of Sword and Shield, his ace is a Charizard, like it's all connected. But yeah, the Charizard situation is, I mean, as a Charizard mega fan, I am eating, but I would like to see the rest of the lads get the representation that they deserve. Like,
Yeah.
there's Mega Venusaur, there's 2 cards. There's a Mega Venusaur VMAX and a Mega Blastoise VMAX that was only ever printed in Japan. It's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah. I think it's hard to make those Pokemon look as dynamic as Charizard in artwork and animation, though. I think,
Yeah.
like, and Blastoise maybe not so much. You can have Blastoise kind of stand there and like power some jets
Yeah.
out, but Venusaur's
Venusaur, I agree though.
quite a static Pokemon. So even in the anime, it's like, what would you have him do? Just meander about. Even in the first movie, he just goes,
Yeah.
"Saw," and that's about as much.
That
as you
was
get.
quite good.
Hey,
That
That
was
was-
not a bad
Bradley
impression there.
he whips his
Oh, thank you.
vines back and forth.
Yeah, he do be whipping. Well, before we move on, I bought 3 packs of Temporal Forces this evening. Okay, I bought 3 packs from the local Morrisons because they stock the half booster boxes, and I'm the only person that buys Pokemon cards in there. I have bought maybe 8 packs of Temporal Forces and had nothing. So eventually there'll be something in there, law of probability. But I do know for a fact because I slid the cards out to see if they were worth opening, and if not, I'll return them. That's a joke. But we do have my first A-Spec card. Okay, I saw the pink. I don't know what it is. It is. I can't read
Ooh.
that.
Nice.
It's maximum belt.
Is that the
It's
meta
same
one?
I've got.
I think that's the meta one. Oh, it is. Oh, this is going right in the Pidgeysard deck. Here we go. That
That's
is
nice.
very nice. The hollow on that.
Yeah,
Come
they're
on
like
now.
Oh,
proper,
swanky.
they're
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
Do I have them down
I've
here?
got that one. It looks amazing.
yeah.
That's
I,
like-
I pulled that as
I've got
well.
Hero's Cape.
That's like the same. See when they did these and I first saw them in Japanese, I was like, they're not going to give us like a fancy Japanese style hollow, and they did. Oh.
It's
I
rare,
think
isn't it, that we've got a
I
good
think the
hollow
cards-
that's
Yeah.
similar to them.
The cards in that set are so nice. I usually have the worst luck when like pulling cards, but like this set's been really kind to me.
Oh mate, Temporal Forces. This is a not just because it's such a big set, but because there's loads of meta cards in it. This is a set that's. I'm not going to say it's going to Evolving Skies or anything, but it's going to be. It's going to go. I'm going to the London Card Show in a couple of weeks, and my number one buy. I want a box of Temporal Forces. They're still about 100 quid online. If I can get someone down to like 90, 95, just haggle them a wee bit. I'll have my VIP press badge, so I'll be like, oh, I'll give you a shout out on VGC if you give me free cards.
I like how you're still plugging VGC and not us.
Mate,
Come on.
I'll give you a shout out on the Secret Rare podcast. And they'll be like, what's the Secret Rare podcast? I'm like, you'll know this time next year when we have this massive booth behind you. You'll know, mate. when there's a round of news about us doing the alternate casting for Pokemon Worlds 2025, that's when you'll know. Other pickups. Do I have it? Oh yeah, I do. So last time we did a podcast, I spoke about the Leafeon V-Star box. Tom got so excited he ordered 2 of them.
Oh yeah.
In the interim, I ordered the Glaceon version. So I now have the Leafeon and Glaceon V-Star box. They come with 2 Fusion Strike and 2 Evolving Skies. So these will just be getting sat on my desk for the foreseeable until one day I've had too much to drink and I rip them all. Tom, have you opened yours yet?
Yeah.
Oh, come on!
Anything good?
No.
Yeah. I presume no Moonbreon, no.
No, it was not worth it. I'm now tempted to buy it again, but I think if I do buy another one, I'm just going to open it. I can't trust myself.
It is the best way to get Evolving Skies and Fusion at like retail now. So
Oh, yeah, it is.
yeah,
But
'cause
I will open them.
Fusion had like a brief restock on the Pokemon Center for a full booster box, but it was at like it was just the price of 36 packs. They didn't do what like card shops do and reduce them. Oh, speaking of, I was in London for some World of Warcraft pish. Sorry, Blizzard, but come on. Then I went to Forbidden Planet, and there was a group of like American. There were like some kind of elite boarding school or something like that, but it was American kids in school uniform on a trip, and they were dropping hundreds of dollars in front of me on like manga books and stuff like that. The last guy goes to the desk in front of me, buys a manga book, and then goes, "Yeah, can I get 2 booster boxes of Temporal Forces?" And just buys them, £140 each, gone immediately. He just takes them, and I'm like, mate, you look about 12. How have you got this money? What's going on here? Also, you've just been ripped off. Why spending 140 quid on this booster box? It's 100 quid online. You're American. It's even cheaper in America. So those have been my travails in the world of Pokemon card shopping. It's really taken over my life at the minute. I can't stop
It is
buying
excessive.
packs. I had a wee downturn around Paradox Rift because I bought a booster box of Paradox Rift, and I was like, we'll stop for a while. Paldean Fates was good, but I ended up with a lot of that through like work and stuff like that. But Temporal Forces, it's a nice set. And as we'll talk about, the next set I don't think is all too banging, so I think I'll be doubling down on Temporal. Niamh, when a new set comes out, how ham do you go on it? Are you a booster box gal? Are you like collection boxes?
I say every time I'm not going to collect it. Every time there's a new set, I say I'm not going to do it. And then usually what happens is I go, I'll just like buy a couple packs at my local. Or like what I do is like I go onto Chaos Cards and I see if they've got any like deals. So I usually go, I'll get a couple because it's cheaper to get a couple than just one. And then I open one, and then usually I always get either a hit in the first or the second pack. And then as soon as that happens, it's then a little spiral down from there. So I wasn't going to collect Temporal Forces, but here I am, and I've got.
I mean, there's only 162 cards in the base set, and what, like 200 secret rares. Shout out. So I mean, you get it in no time at all. I saw a Reddit post. Nathan probably wrote about this on Deserto, to be fair. Where a boy and his pal bought 10 booster boxes of Temporal Forces. Right? They got 2 gold cards in 10 boxes. 2 gold cards in 10 boxes. They didn't get they didn't get the Gouging Fire special illustration rare. They didn't get the ones you've got, Niamh. Tell the people at home, because I saw these on your Insta.
Yeah, do you know, I honestly cannot get over. I bought 10 packs specifically for EUIC, and I thought I couldn't wait to open one. And I'd been really good, and I thought I'm just going to open one. And I was sat at home like the night before, and the one pack I opened, I pulled the Iron Crown, and then I did the side games. And I did a pick a pack, so I paid my £8 for my one pack, played games, I won all 3, so I got 80 points, and I could get then 2 packs and like some stickers or something. So I just bought 2 packs and then opened them with May, and I got the Iron Leaves out of it. So
God,
yeah,
it's
incredible.
May. It's May. I blame May. He's like such a luck bringer.
Yeah, honestly, I think he is.
He is. I love that man. He's so fantastic.
He is. He's lovely.
That's unbelievable. In a similar situation, when I was opening a lot of Paldea Evolved, I was like, I like this set, but I'm never going to get the Iono. I might as well not bother. And then I pulled the Fuecoco art rare of him in the shopping trolley, and something just clicked in my brain, and I was like, I need to complete this set now. So I opened thousands and thousands of Paldea Evolved before finally getting the Iono, and I'm still not finished with it. That set is like, I think that's the second largest Pokemon set in history, and I think that either Paradox or Temporal Forces is the largest. Like, the Pokemon Company are.
Oh, they're making them bigger and bigger and bigger, aren't they?
Like, I know that Temporal Forces had to be huge because it's the first set post rotation, so it had to like fill in a lot of gaps. But still, it's a lot. Nathan, you said you're on a quiet period for picking things up. First of all, how is this done? Can you tell us so we can do it too? And second of all, are you missing it?
I mean, the key to not buying cards is not having the money to buy cards. Yeah. That is really helping. That, and I keep telling myself I'm trying to save for like some big life things, like going to a mate's wedding later this year, and it's going to be in Greece and stuff like that. So I'm like, I need to do adult things. I need to do adult things.
Pokemon is adult things.
Has been tough though.
Exactly. If you save up $1,000, you could buy like 10 booster boxes, put them away. That's your future sorted. Come on.
That
You don't,
I
you
mean,
don't need to go to a
it
wedding.
is investing, really. Yeah, that's been all right. I haven't opened anything since EUIC, though I did nearly cave when we were talking about those Leafy unboxes, and also I do really want to get some Mask of Change just because I really love Ursaluna and I quite like Ogerpon and stuff as well. I'm quite tempted. I think I'll see where I am when that comes out. What I always tell myself is I'll just get the ETB, and it never stops there.
Yeah. Because it's the old thing. It's like if you get an ETB and you get terrible packs, you're like, oh, well, I don't feel like I've even started. But if you get good packs, it's like, well, the set's finished at this point. I might as well just open a couple more. Like, speaking of Mask of Change, it is. I think it's out this Friday in Japan or last Friday in Japan.
Is
It's very
my
close. Yeah,
Yeah, it's out tomorrow. Yeah. No,
Ah.
yeah, 2 days time.
Yeah.
I thought it was Thursday.
It is-
Yeah, out this Friday in Japan.
extraordinarily close, and as such, like local card shops have it. They've been selling to their regulars, and some of the secret illustration rares have come out. I'm trying to open this link to PokeBeach, but it is not working. New service for what? PokeBeach?
I've not
Um,
actually had a look at many of the new cards. I try and like save it until it comes out.
I used to try and save it, but unfortunately, Niamh, you're lucky that you're not subjected to our group chat, because anytime someone sniffs a new card, it gets posted in our group chat within about 30 seconds. The amount of times I wake up to messages, it's like, here is every special illustration rare from the next set.
No, we get excited, all right?
Look,
that I nearly wet myself with that Tatsugiri. That
pack
card
Oh
is
my
so
god!
good.
Yes, it looks so good.
Fire. So for those not aware, there's a Tatsugiri special illustration. Oh, is it just an art rare? It's not actually loading for me, but it's like a cartoon kind of pop art style of Tatsugiri.
It looks similar to the Mew
Yeah, I thought
from
The
from
Frostlass is eerie.
The Frostlass is actually terrifying. There's like a horror.
I don't like that. I don't like it. I think it looks like someone from the Grudge. It gives me the freak.
that
It
is
creeps
well
me out.
creepy.
Frostlass
I love
looks
that.
like it should have like Drifloon lore where it like takes children away to be killed.
Yes.
Well, it sort of does, because the yokai it's based on is like a maiden that lures men like in the mountains or something like that, if I remember correctly.
Oh,
So
hell yeah.
this is or like it finds travelers. It's pulling from the yokai with this card, which is amazing.
The Diplin is also incredible. I've said it 50 times, but we are in the greatest era for Pokemon card art ever, and that's just
The
Even-
Chansey. That Chansey's
my
great.
boy
Yeah, the
Diplin.
Chansey's really nice. And the Timber,
love a Chansey.
actually. The Timber, I think, is quite cool.
I always kind of
Well,
ignore
the-
cards like that because Timber's never been a Pokemon that I care about. But yeah, that's really sick.
that reminds me of there is a Steelix illustration rare in a recent set where he's like helping on a building site as well.
Drift,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like
How-
that is it Chimecho or Chimico?
Chimecho,
I've always said
Okay,
Chimecho.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a gorgeous card.
Yeah.
Like I like
Jordan.
the sort of almost more realistic style of that. Sorry.
It's pretty.
Jordan, how do you feel about the fact the Okie Dokie card slaps?
Look, I knew this was going to come up.
Oh mate, it looks so good.
The
so cool.
the Daft 3 or whatever they're called, all their cards look excellent. I have no problem with this. The card art can be divorced from the Pokemon. For example, I think Chi-Yu is a really stupid Pokemon. It's like a goldfish. However, the Paldean evolved Chi-Yu, but it's like floating up into this like flame tornado.
Yes,
Fantastic
such a good
card.
card.
So if I pull these, I wouldn't kick these cards out of bed. You know, if I pull these, I will not have much of a problem.
Yeah, I really like that they put like not the stereotypical Pokemon, like the mainstream Pokemon on these cards. I really like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody has different Pokemon that they like, so they can't just keep doing the same stuff. So the fact that they've just they've gone a bit rogue, but I like it.
I think I said it last week when I
Well,
kind of said that in the games, you don't get like an understanding of what the Pokemon are. You kind of see them walk around in 3D models, but it's when you see them on the card in their natural habitat, actually in motion, you're like, you know what? Wattrel's actually kind of cool. In the game, I'm like, oh, Wattrel? No.
Yeah.
I'd tell you one thing I really miss from it's in Heart Gold Soul Silver is, do you remember when you would go into a new town, you'd get this pixelated picture and it would be like this scene setting thing and it would show you a cave and it would have like the Pokemon in the corner or whatever. just something like that, just a little splash
Yeah.
screen, or just
Yeah.
sort of like, or maybe even like, I know I always go on about like, just animate something for the games, little vignettes or something when you turned up to a place, whether it's animated or whatever. That'd be so
Yeah.
good.
I
I'd
totally
love
agree.
that.
See, like in the Scarlet and Violet trailers, when they did those flyovers of areas and you saw Pokemon like kicking about, like it doesn't have to be animation to the quality of like new Pokemon Snap or anything like that, but
That is great though.
just to the
Those
point
moments in
where
new Pokemon Snap is fantastic.
yeah, where you don't feel like you're just walking in and then you see everything spawn just standing there, like, oh well, okay, cool, I'm here now.
Yeah.
Although water, very unrealistic. That bird has electric in it. Is that just killed every fish Pokemon in the entire ecosystem instantly?
Maybe that's how it fishes.
That's how it
brutal.
fishes. Mass murder of Magikarps. So this is kind of an interesting situation because as the set is being opened, this article on Pokebreach is being updated. There is a previously unannounced gold Buddy Poffin, and that is a super meta card at the minute. So I bet you the English version of that is hella expensive. Also an enhanced hammer, which is pretty decent. Carmine and Kieran get good special illustration rares. I hate Kieran.
Really
He
good
was
cards.
him in the DLC. I wish you could have taken him up to the top of the mountain and pushed him off. But Carmine's pretty cool.
I like the Kieran art. It's really cool. I like it's him in the first DLC, so it's kind of like a happy time when he was just a good lad. So he's got some toffee apples. It's a good vibe. I'd like to go to that festival.
I think there's a missed opportunity though, because Pecharunt should be in the background of that art. Like the whole thing was that Pecharunt was teased in that first DLC to tease Pecharunt in this set, which will then debut in the next set. Presumably, would have maybe been a move.
You can see those masks in the background, but yeah, it would have been cool.
Yeah, because Pecharunt was just like a little purple blob of Play-Doh in that first DLC. Kitakami, man, right? This is a tangent. Kitakami, in theory, is such a cool setting. Like that, the whole festival and stuff like that. I was unbelievably disappointed when you couldn't interact with like any of those stalls. There was nothing going on. Like at least in an older Pokemon game, they would have split like battle items up for each of those people. So like, oh, you get a choice scarf here, you get Poffins here. Like, man.
It was cool though when they replicated it at EUIC. They actually had them at EUIC, which was really cool.
Oh yeah. So I never got to see any of that stuff because I left on the Thursday, obviously. But seeing everyone's TikToks, I was like, I'm dead inside. I missed. I would see that coconut shy where they were knocking down Pokemon. I would have knocked that thing through the building. Was there any prizes for doing that? Like, did you win anything for doing the coconut shy, or was it just vibes?
It was all just fun and games.
Shite. I'd be like, you've got tag team booster packs over there. If I knock all these down, you're marching over and you're giving me all. I don't care if they're in German. You're still giving me them.
If I kick a Mime Junior over a pub, you have to give me a booster box.
Poor Mime Junior. I'm getting a terrible name in the Mime Junior community. Just because I could kick over a pub doesn't mean I want to. Okay.
I love it, the comedic timing. You're just going. It's just the end of it. Oh yeah.
Yeah, EIC, man. I can't wait for the next show. I'm really, really looking forward to another. Well, I'm going to London Card Show. That'll be good fun. There's like, it's Europe's biggest card show. I've watched a few videos from London Card Show, but I thought it would just be like, oh, we're kind of in a village hall. We have like a couple of dozen vendors and stuff like that. They've got like over 500 tables. They've got eBay and whatnot and PSA. I'm talking to some of the guys from PSA. Like, it's going to be.
Oh, that'd be cool.
It's going to be. I'm just going to take cards and be like, why is this not a 10? Just like hold it in front of them, hands shaking, all sweaty. Like, why is this not a 10?
Hi, I want to review the process. Like, I want to actually do a review process of PSA grading. Can you grade these cards for free, and I'll review the process?
Sitting behind the guy that's grading my Iono, being like, just do it, mate. Just get a 10. Come on. You give out 10s all the time. It doesn't matter. There's a big rip in the back here, stuck together with sellotape. Niamh, you go to your local card shows or Comic Cons or stuff like that? Where are you based, roughly?
So I'm Northants. But I think I had a look round here. I don't think there's anything till August. There's not really much of a scene around here. We've got a geek retreat. That's my nearest place. It's so small in there. And I remember I went in after work once, and it was fine because I was just looking for my singles, like my commons and stuff, for my Scarlet and was it base set? I think it was the base set, Scarlet and Violet, and I then decided to go in on a Saturday morning, and that was my biggest mistake because there was just children everywhere. To the point where this kid was like, "I want to battle you," and I was like, "Oh, I really don't have time. I'm so sorry." But it was just chaos. It was like really nice and chilled in the evening, but absolute like kids like just throwing cards everywhere. But yeah, there's not many events now like around here. I know quite a couple of people that do play, and like loads of people that play locally like went to EUIC. But apart from that, it's not really much of a scene.
Yeah.
It's a shame. I'm quite close to London though, so I went to CardCon weekend just gone. That wasn't very big, but it was quite quiet and quite chilled, and I picked up a couple little bargains there. And I want to go to London Card Show. It's just if I can afford it. So
Bro, go on the Sunday. Email them and they'll give you a VIP pass. I have absolutely no doubt of that.
yeah, well, I did email them, but I've not heard anything back. Same with like MCM as well.
Cool. Call them out right now. Let's send them this podcast.
I mean, that's like
guys.
that's like the least inflammatory thing I'll have done on Twitter this week is like call out people who have paid a lot of money for me to be somewhere. So it's all part of the charm. Come on.
But yeah, usually if I don't get a pass, I usually pay for it anyway. So it's just like if they give me a creator pass, then fab. But if not, I'm usually going to pay to go anyway. So.
And we are back, and we're joined by the 5th member of the Elite Four. It's a dog. Niamh, tell us about the dog.
So this is Lady.
Lady.
She's 9. We brought her home. Literally, I think. What's the date today? It's the 24th today.
24th of April.
Yeah, 3. No, sorry, my brain's just farting right now. 9 years yesterday.
Oh, happy birthday! Happy home day.
Little lady. Little lady. Yeah.
Named for the Disney film.
Oh, she's very cute.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is very cute.
She is very sweet.
I love spaniels very, very much.
Until she's not so calm and she goes in the
Nice little cuddly toy. Speaking of cuddly toys, Tom, you bought a very special cuddly toy. Tell us all about it.
I got it. I got the boy. I got him. It happened.
The old misery guts himself, Van Gogh Pikachu. Pokemon.
Yes.
Found a load of extra stock under the couch, presumably, and restocked basically the entire line, minus the cards. And because it was minus the cards, the only thing that was really sold out is that Pikachu. I got one too. It's not currently here. Tom got one. Niamh, did you have any interest in the Van Gogh Pikachu?
I did. If I'd known that there was a drop, I would have budgeted for it. But unfortunately, even with my 10% that Pokemon gave me after spending money in the Pokemon Center, I couldn't. I wanted the sleeves as well.
The sleeves
were sunflower sleeves. I bought the print when I went to Amsterdam, but I've not had a chance to put it up in my room yet. So I want to get a nice frame for it, so I don't want to blue tack it to the wall and ruin it. But yeah, I really wanted the Sunflora sleeves, but I really would have loved the plush, but I just.
So I'm like a bit of a sleeves elitist in the sense that I wish that Pokemon let another company make their sleeves, because the feeling of the back of Pokemon sleeves, I don't like it. I use like what are they called, dragon skin or something stupid like that. It's like
I don't like those.
I like how rough they are.
I really like the Pokemon sleeves.
So the Pokemon,
I like it.
The Pokemon sleeves also have an issue for me that they're like slightly
the cloudiness.
Opaque. The cloudiness, the cloudiness of the ETB sleeves specifically. Yeah. Like because I pulled my Iono card out of its sleeve and I was like, I had to take my glasses off. I was blinded with the shine. But as you put it in a sleeve, you put it in a binder, like it's.
Well, it's like
we're gonna have a demonstration here. Yeah.
But look at that.
Yeah, you can lose the
does dull it a little bit, doesn't it?
My nails are disgusting. Then sorry, I've been traveling all day.
Do you think it's a reflection thing? Do you think it's like a reflection thing when you're playing like TCG?
I don't know, because I don't know any TCG players that use Pokemon made sleeves I know a lot of collectors use like penny sleeves or whatever they're called, that they're the completely clear ones, but the backs of the Pokemon ones are so nice, which is a real,
Yeah.
which is why I wish another company was allowed to make
Yeah.
them. But yeah, it's the sleeve selection was good. I want the Snorlax playing mat, the one where he's like lying on a bed and falling off it. I'm not a Van Gogh historian. All I know is he cut his ear off, so I don't know if that's a reference to something. But I mean, I presume it is. I presume the Pokemon company didn't just evoke like, oh, this sounds like something Van Gogh would do. He was always falling at his bed.
So Van Gogh, he was inspired by a lot of Japanese art. So that's where that collaboration made sense for Pokemon to collaborate with the Van Gogh Museum. And I think it was an anniversary thing, wasn't it? So
yeah, anniversary of those little old Dutch ladies getting sacked for conspiring to sell those Pikachu cards. I mean, they've made those cards are like 70 quid a go now. So if you didn't get them,
yeah, I've got one. I managed to get my hands on one before I went. I didn't get one when I was in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
I got an email to say no.
Yeah, I got one part of that as part of that Pokemon Center drop. But yeah, Van Gogh stuff. Cool.
Sorry, it's really distracting having that dog in the background. Like I wasn't even listening to a word Jordan was saying.
I was having a great time. Like, what's the dog up to?
No one listens to a word I say. Don't even worry about it, mate. Don't even worry about it. Before we go, there's the small matter of this new set coming after Twilight Masquerade. It's going to be a special set. It's listed as Scarlet and Violet 6.5. Doesn't have booster boxes, but it has all the other products. Your Elite Trainer boxes, your collection boxes, all that garbage. Nathan, we pray it's not a shiny set. What do you think it's going to be?
I think this is how we get Hydrapple and Archaludon or Archaludon, however you say it. And then I guess at some point in the future we get a set for Pecharunt, and maybe that's got some other ones. But, you know, we haven't got many Pokemon left now that haven't been carded. So I think this is probably a nice sort of celebration for those chaps. I mean, we've just seen we've got Diplin coming up in Mask of Change as well.
Twilight Masquerade.
Yeah, we haven't had what's Archaludon's pre-Evo, the Duraludon. I don't think we've had a card for him for a while.
Yeah.
That'd be a fun one to have.
Evolving Skies' own Duraludon.
Yeah. So I think that would be it.
Yeah, I think you're probably right in terms of like you do a Pecharunt special illustration rare as part of the ETB. Yeah. The ETB could be a nice purple color. Like, I don't know. It's like we're obviously in a weird situation where we're waiting for ZA. There will be a set associated with ZA in much the same way that Astral Radiance. So Astral Radiance was so close to Legends Arceus that the origin forms of Palkia and Dialga leaked on those pack arts when they were getting printed in French, which was doubly funny because I was reviewing the game at that time and I knew all about those, and I was like, people are going to lose their fucking minds when they see these big fleshy things. And then people started seeing them on the packs and they're like, oh my god, what have they done? So I think the ZA set is probably going to be the first set of the year, or well, it depends when ZA comes out, but I think it will be the same time period that ZA comes out. We get like a Super Kalos set, we get a big stupid Zygarde, all that kind of crap. So
do you reckon this will impact the actual set releases? Like, obviously, if the conspiracy theory that this was maybe meant to have come out at the end of this year rather than the start of next year and Switch Pro, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, Pokemon is so in line with its TCG and games and stuff like that. Will this have somehow caused issues with the TCG if ZA was pushed? Like,
I bet the answer is almost certainly yes. Obviously, they'll do a Christmas set. God knows what. Doing a reprint of Neo. It's the 25th anniversary of Neo. Come on. Jesus Christ. Please, God. Reprint Neo. Every time I meet someone from the Pokemon company, I'm just like,
It's the perfect time to do it as well. Literally,
25 years.
If they have like a set where they kind of messed up because the game has pushed the set back, then let's just reprint Neo. Why not?
It's the money.
If they reprinted
so easy.
Neo, I would punch a hole through a fucking brick wall with excitement. So tangentially, Collector's Card House, Pokecloy and Pokedean, they've opened a physical shop, which is actually probably very accessible for you three bloody English bastards. I can't get to anything. It's so far away, but the shop looks great. They have tons of like retro packs and stuff like that. Matt Cully, I believe his name is. He's a Pokemon person, does card stuff. he put up a video, and Randolph put up a video. This Donnie bought like 8 Neo packs, right? He spent like 10 grand on packs, opened them all immediately, got absolutely F all, apart from he got the Shining Charizard from Neo, which even in a 10 doesn't make him his money back, but still, I was like, oh my god, I just watching these Neo packs get opened, I'm like, oh Christ alive.
I saw that. My friend was there and she put it on her Instagram story. And it was like everyone just went crazy.
It was so hype. It was like all these Pokemon like content creators around this guy whose like hands are shaking because he spent so much money, and then finally the Charizard, like, it takes too long to put it in a sleeve. I'll tell you this. The amount of time that it's just like floating about, it's like, get that in a sleeve right now, son. But so obviously the 30th anniversary is coming up. My currently building theory is that they're not only going to reprint base set for the 30th anniversary, they're going to print it in the original packaging in the same way that Yu-Gi-Oh did a couple of years ago.
Oh, those slaps.
Because there's no way that there's going to be a problem, because all they need to do is print it in the original packaging, and on the back there is a big fuck off logo that says Pokemon 30. So there's going to be no confusion with original packs. Same on the cards.
Yeah.
And anyone who is our age or about walk into Asda, walk into Smith's, and see like the Charizard, Venusaur, Blastoise packs, they'll pick them up.
Yep.
So I wonder if they're like, because obviously the 30th stuff will be being planned now or is already planned. If that stuff's happening, they're like, maybe let's not do another retro set so close to it.
Maybe
we can make up anniversaries as they go along. Like if we miss the 25th for Neo, the 30th is only in 5 years. Like Pokemon will outlive God, so it's not as if we're going to like miss it. So yeah, people keep teasing the idea that this could be another Dragon set, like
they say Paradise Dragona. It's what it's called in Japan.
Yeah, Dragon's Vault and Dragon Majesty. Those sets were cool. I have an entire set of Dragon's Vault that was purchased from the Nintendo store in New York because it was like the week that came out. So and for those that don't remember, those were packs of 4 cards, kind of similar to Celebrations, where it was just everything was a holo. In fact, no, that's not true. Not everything was everything a holo? I think everything was a holo, but you got like 1 rare a pack or something like that, and there was 25 cards. So it was like a mini set. I don't think Pokemon would do anything that small these days. Like 25 cards to a set is like a laugh at this point.
That's like McDonald's, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but even Detective Pikachu was like pre-boom, so and also they were limited by the number of Pokemon models they'd actually made.
I suppose so. Yeah, I watched a film the other day, and there are like 10 Pokemon in it.
Yeah.
you just constantly see Greninja. It's like, how is there so many Greninjas in this place? Like, that film's underrated, man. I wish they'd make a second one. The only part I don't like is I don't like when he sings the Pokemon theme. That ruined it for me. It's like, okay, it's funny in the cinema, but it doesn't make any fucking sense. The Pokemon theme doesn't exist in the world of Pokemon.
Now
okay?
we can talk about this because Path to the Peak, they sing the Johto. No, is it the We All Live in a Pokemon world? They sing that in Path to the Peak, the anime. So
I'm afraid Path to the Peak isn't canon, I'm afraid.
No, I think it stands that those things do exist in the Pokemon world.
Interesting.
But no, because like in the world of Path to the Peak, the Pokemon trading card game exists.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. So like the
no, you might be right. Yeah, sorry.
So that is real life as opposed to, well, not real life because they've got fucking Pokemon, but it's not in the canon of like the existence of Ash, like.
No, I don't know. That kind of stuff is too.
Because if Path to the Peak and the Pokemon anime exist in the same universe, then why is this company that exists in the Pokemon universe printing cards of worldwide criminal Giovanni and Jesse and James to sell to children?
In Detective Pikachu, the main character has Pokemon cards. Pikachu goes through them on his desk. They do have Pokemon cards.
Okay.
They probably don't have Team Rocket cards. I assume that's probably not a thing, but they definitely do have
Imagine
Pokemon
if we
cards.
had like Yakuza cards. We should do. We should.
Yeah. I'm honestly surprised they have. But in Detective Pikachu, if Pokemon cards exist, and the Pokemon anime exists for the Pokemon anime,
we have top trumps for dogs.
Right.
That's just like Pokemon cards in the Pokemon world.
So so we're just basically in the multiverse.
Well, exactly. This is the problem. It creates the cards existing fine. The cards could exist, and you could just write it off as being like, okay, a version of Pokemon cards exists. The Pokemon theme song implies so much about how this Pikachu knows the Pokemon theme song, knows that it's the theme song to the same version of the anime that we have. If that's the case, how far did they get?
The Pokemon theme plays at a certain point as well. I think it's the news theme at one point, and I can't remember if it's the news company that plays a Pokemon theme underneath that. But like
yeah,
they
play like the dun 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 because they used that in the trailer as well. But
yeah, so maybe it's a case that
I think
they may just be using those themes.
I think we're worrying about it too much, lads. To be perfectly honest.
Where does Rita Ora fit in this?
Rita Ora is dead. Rita Ora is dead.
Mewtwo murdered Rita Ora, so like, are we going to make a Pokemon?
She got cut up by glass.
Yeah. But Katy Perry, she's met Pikachu.
Yeah, Katy Perry has met Pikachu. There is a Pokemon music playlist on Apple Music, and it's mostly just anime themes, but then they play like the version of "Only Wanna Be With You" by Post Malone that has like random wee blips and bloops from Pokemon in it.
Do you know what?
We lost our way, man.
Do you know what drives me mad? I love Scarlet and Violet, and I was so happy to get to the end.
Oh,
that Ed Sheeran song.
Don't do this. That's a great song.
No,
that's a great song.
Bad.
I like it.
That is a lovely wee song. Yeah. Not only did they do that song, they got fucking Undertale's own Toby Fox to make a remix of it for the credits of the DLC.
The remix is way better, but the original is. I don't like the music video as well. Ed Sheeran just looks like the most gormless person ever. He constantly looks like he's been spun around in an office chair and had a blindfold taken off him. He's got like no sense of charm or anything, and he's there. These Pokemon are running around him. He's having a great time.
So Ed Sheeran then
he couldn't act surprised if you slapped him on the face, and he's like. oh, Ed, sell it! Come on, mate.
That song makes me emotional.
Nah.
Because it makes me think about Pokemon, and it's just nice. Okay.
All right.
So I won't take any of this fucking shit from you. They were playing it in the Pokemon Center when I was walking about it with Laura, and I was like, I fucking love Pokemon. I would kill everyone in this building for Pokemon.
Do you remember when Niamh joined and we all were really, really mature and nice and normal?
Sorry.
And now it's descended as usual. Weird question. Can we speak about the Apple scenario? The Apple issue of the room?
The Apple issue?
The emulator?
Oh,
I'm not saying that we're using it. I'm saying that it exists.
Oh yeah, let's not incriminate ourselves, but
I want to say that will this, because for the first time people can easily get this way, the iPhone is the biggest phone in America. It's huge, like 90% of the population use it.
Fucking massive. It's the size of a surfboard.
But now everyone in America pretty much has access to an emulator and can easily get classic Pokemon games on their phone,
which we condemn in the strongest possible terms.
Don't do that.
Is this now Nintendo's reason to finally make it happen and release them on Switch?
Literally, why have I said this for so long? I wrote an article a while ago that was like, Pokemon, let me buy your games, put them on the Switch. And also, I personally, I think red, blue, yellow, all of that, they are like, they're valuable. I get it. They should be on fridges. They should be on a Tesla. They should be on your phone, but you give Nintendo a $5 for it because that's what they'll charge at least. But wicked, because then you just get it and you don't have to worry. I don't understand why they're being so precious about those ones. When
they can't be now. They can't be now. They can't now. They can't.
And I get it.
Now everyone can play them so easily.
And I get it. There's value to them.
Not legally.
Yeah, but you're right. Like now, everyone's going to be doing it, and they're probably going to go, well, why aren't we making that money instead of bloody
exactly
Tom, Dick, and bloody emulator over there who's charging a few quid for whatever it is. Like, 100%.
Pokemon, come on,
money on the table. Money on the table.
I will pay Nintendo 15 quid for Pokemon Crystal right now. I don't care, bro.
Yeah, I buy it again on my Switch, on my phone.
I bought it on every single. I have a 3DS copy of Pokemon Crystal.
You have an empty box of it.
I mean, it's got a code in it, so it's technically not empty. But I mean, I had to.
Oh my god,
Johto, bro,
Jordan.
I had to get all of them.
That's
I had to collect.
incredible.
These were ridiculously cheap, and now you can basically not find them. They were on the My Nintendo store for basically just the price of the 3DS.
Was it just the
Virtual
code in the
Console
box,
game.
was it?
Code in the box, but it's like
Oh,
it's the right
That's
size.
so
Like,
nice.
Can you redeem that anymore?
I don't know. I got ways to play Pokemon Crystal, bro. I wouldn't worry about it.
I like as soon as we mentioned the emulator, the police came past.
Yeah. They know.
They know.
They'll never catch me. Before we go, Niamh, where can we find you?
So you can find me over on TikTok, Instagram, a little bit on YouTube when I got the time. Nerdy Niamh, and yeah, it's the same across all platforms. So
Hell yeah.
that's how you can find me.
Well, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it greatly. I'm sorry that
Thank
these
you so
two
much for having me.
didn't behave themselves. I had a word with
We
them.
behaved
but-
ourselves.
Nathan was fine. Tom, you're just come on. You're just
What?
letting this side.
He's
down.
got his
I can tell what you're
he's
doing.
got his
You're
tins.
preparing your fucking drum kit for the outro.
he's got his tins ready to make a mess again.
Well, until we are back, you can find me on Twitter at Jordan Midler, Tom at Monkey Nuke, Nathan at Nate and Destroy. Say goodbye, Niamh.
Goodbye.
Say goodbye, Nathan.
Goodbye.
Say goodbye, Tom.
Bye.
We'll see you next week.